pass that on to me. So we're at the very beginning. None of the provider agencies have been um, trained, or I don't think there's been an implementation plan really put together. We're pretty much at the beginning, even though I realize, like a year and a half into a contract now.
You know, all I can say is you're not the only one. Does that help?
I'll take
It's
that.
not the first time. It's not the first time. It's taken more than a year from when the decision was made, and and the money laid on the table. And
Right, so now we have to kind of put it together. I mean, ideally, I'd like to really start. Um, I'd like the agencies to be able to use it, so be ready to go um, by hopefully January. But we'll see how long it takes to get everybody trained and that kind of stuff. So there's
so
some flexibility there, but I'd like to, work with that date as a goal.
yeah, yeah. Now, so when it comes to training clinicians
Hmm.
to use my outcomes to collect the data, to elicit the feedback, to engage with the data, so that they have an understanding of what it is, and also how they can use it,
Hmm.
day to day. You have e-learning,
Hmm.
so we're going to look at e-learning
Okay.
because everybody's account will have e-learning included in it. And so once they go through the first few modules, and what we recommend is that they do the training in, 1 or 2 module increments. So then that's like 1 or 2 hours at a time. And then after they get to administering the ORS and the SRS, they're really ready to start, and it's encouraged, right, to start, trying it out
Okay.
with the clients. So what I'm saying is the training of the clinicians is not onerous,
Okay. Good.
and you have a scalable, sustainable method of doing that because you have purchased a group license. So every new person that comes on, they're going to have this.
Right.
And that what we need beyond that, though, is it's the change. It's the change in the agency and change in the way things are done, and supporting the implementation by changing it at all different levels. Right. So right from intake to how is this being recorded in progress notes. To are we looking at the data to identify clients that don't seem to be succeeding at a supervisory level, right? Applying feedback informed treatment model to supervision, and then above that is, well, now let's make sure that we are producing reports that are meaningful,
Hmm.
and that we are that so that for the proving that this is collecting good data, so we can rely on these outcomes, but then also, what are we going to do with that data? So being committed at the program level that if the data indicates certain things, that we're going to be able to respond to that. Okay, so I said a whole lot, and what I want to do now is show you a couple of things. First, go into the system. Have you been in the system and looked around? Chris, did I lose you?
Um,
There
you
you are.
didn't lose me. I just have a poor enough connection that it's taken me a second to make out what you're saying. Sorry, but that's our internet right now, and I'm not sure why it's giving me some
Hey,
problems.
well, you know what, Chris? There's a toll-free number you could call in if you're having
Yeah, I might
trouble
have to
hearing.
do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
let
so if
me.
you you can go back to the email, or also on your GoToMeeting control panel, there's an audio section, and if you do the drop down, there's
Mhm.
a phone, and if you choose phone, it will bring up the call-in information for you.
Okay. Okay, they're under the audio options once I log in. The,
Hello.
okay, that should be better, I think. Can you hear me?
Good. Good. I can hear. Well, I could hear you. You were good for me before, but
Okay.
okay. So I was giving an overview of implementation,
Mhm.
and and now I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you my outcomes. And so, have you been in the My Outcomes platform?
Yes, a little bit. I got to play with it. I was actually the director of one of the provider agencies before moving to the board. So I've gotten to kind of fiddle around
Okay.
inside.
So I've gone into the U.S. one. I hope that's going to work for me. Yeah, demo admin. Okay, and so and we're in just to note about privacy. We're in the U.S. evaluation account. So these are just other agencies that are evaluating it, and we are going into a branch of the tree. And so this is one of the first things we're going to need to look at is how you want all of this set up, right?
Okay.
When we provision your account. So you're going to have the owner, and the owner is going to, at the owner level, you can create the tag list. Basically, you set parameters for everybody that is in your branch of the tree. So tags, which is a way you can tag individual clients.
Mhm.
And set those for the agency. So that's something to look at if you want to be tracking, different characteristics
Right.
across different programs, and also reporting. So looking at, well, what's important to you to report, and then choosing which report parameters you want to report, and then also reasons for termination. You're going to look at, you're going to choose from this list. You're going to choose which of these that you want to use, and what are the criteria for them. For when you close an episode of care, what was the reason for termination?
Okay.
And then this here, I don't know if you know about the controversy about the reliable change index, but you can adjust it to whatever you want in our system. Okay, so under the owner, you have administrators, and again, this is a level of access, and
Right.
so multiple people could be logging in here if you wanted to, but it's about who can see these supervisors and these clinicians underneath. And so this could be a location,
Right.
right? This could be a supervisor, or this could be a program. It's all about how do it's about mirroring your organizational structure, and also how you're going to break things up that are going to make the most sense. And so that's something you guys can work on, and we can certainly meet and help with that as well. and then each provider has one or more groups. So groups, again, is something to look at. Do you want to look at different kinds of therapy they provide, different kinds of populations they seek, or everybody is under one provider, or maybe it's you have clients who they're just in an individual counseling program, or maybe they're concurrently in a group therapy and an individual counseling program, so you want to, maybe look at that differently. That could be something you could use tags for. You could also use groups for. So those are, decisions that will need to be made. Okay. So
and let me ask a question about the tags real quick. One of the things that in my limited time in there I wasn't able to figure out, is there a way to do a query that would allow you to look at, the client has a red and a blue and a green tag. Let's say those are the ones that I'm using. Can I do red and blue but not green? Is it possible to query it that way?
Not at this time, but that is the next step for tags, for us to be able to combine two and exclude one, and take it to that next level. So that will be the next level of tags. Right now we're still trying to get people to use tags.
Okay.
Right.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sold on using tags. I think it allows for a whole lot of depth of data, especially when you get to the point where you can kind of define how you want to examine things.
Well, for example, they're doing a replication study, and they want to identify, and it'll be de-identified information, right, that will be used in the replication study, and it's from one of our agencies, and they want to. They can only have clients that are only seeing one provider, right? They're not seeing multiple providers, and that are strictly in an outpatient setting. And so that's how they're going to do it. They're going to go through their records, and they're going to put tags on,
right,
to identify those, and just send out the the aggregate stats for that to be used in the study. So yes, and if they had been doing it all along, then they're not going to. They wouldn't have to get somebody to go through all the files.
Right.
Do it all now. So thinking about these things ahead of time, again, right, will really help you down the road. As well as using the system to identify, if we have people who are maybe they're not getting it, clinicians aren't getting it, and so we're not getting good data. Before, agencies implementing with paper and pencil, there's agencies, public health agencies, that have thrown out, a year, 2 years worth of data because they can't catch these things. Right? But with this system, you can catch them. Okay, so you've played around in here, and so the dashboard. I'm not going to get into the functionality of the dashboard or any more about the system beyond what we just talked about, because that's really about setting it up, right?
Right.
The Fit e-learning is what I wanted to show you. So, like I said, every provider account, and I wonder how this is going to work. Yeah, welcome back, Cindy's demo account, because it's set for the whole thing. So, training room. So, these are all the topics. Have you looked at this?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I've watched some of the webinars under the resources, but I haven't really gone into the Fit e-learning yet. That's
because it's not. Because you've just had an evaluation account. That's right. When you have a live account, you will have this would be right on your dashboard.
But we don't have a live account now.
Your account is your live account hasn't been set up and provisioned, right?
Okay.
So that's what we were just talking about.
Right.
That's that's your first step. So, as far as getting your account set up, is deciding you know, what is your tree going to look like?
Okay.
Right. So you need to go back and you should have been given a provisioning document by Rachel, and if that doesn't sound familiar, I will get her to send one over to you. And
that
you
would
guys
be
can
great.
talk
I don't
about it.
believe
Yeah.
I can't say that Tom hasn't gotten one,
Sure.
but I can
Sure.
say that I don't have it. So
I
if I could get
can
that, would be
guarantee you, Tom had one, because
great.
we used to call Tom faithfully about once a month.
and getting him to find something in his email might be more work than it's worth.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. We'll just
get
get a new one sent over. Absolutely. And so, as you can see, we can go through these lessons, and you know, I want to sell you on e-learning, because what's great about e-learning is you have Scott Miller, who is very actually he's not in this one. Very engaging, right? The first one just basically tells you what this thing does. Very engaging, and he teaches you a little bit of a lesson, and then you answer questions. And let's see. Oh, you can go and look on you answer some questions, and you read some stuff in the manual. You've got some activities to do, and then at the end of each lesson is a multiple choice exam. And the multiple choice exam, if you get it wrong, you get an X, and you can do it again.
Okay.
But you lose points.
Right.
So you can successfully. So there's some stuff built into the system. You can successfully complete the program, but you can go through it, but you won't pass.
Okay.
You have to get 80%. The other thing is, as you can see, we've got on pace, successfully completed. So someone could be on pace and moving through, but not successfully completed. Right?
Okay.
They could have failed. So it's a way of making sure that everybody is really engaging with the information, and also by only doing 1 or 2 modules at a time, that they're going to learn this information and ingest this information. And we also have a way of identifying if they're not, because they're going to fail.
Okay.
And that being said, if people do all the work, they're not going to fail, because this is designed. There was a program in the military, Live Well, and it was about peer support coaching, and so it talks about. So it's designed, you know, for someone who does not have a lot of education in this field to be able to get this and participate in this. And so yes, and so you have 2 weeks to complete each lesson, or you get an email that says you're falling behind. You can always go and look at your awareness profile at any time. Let's maybe just go. And so see this, it will be all your questions that you had to answer. So again, it's to really get people thinking and engaging with the information. And gathering formal client feedback, introducing the outcome rating scale, introducing the session rating scale. So now, by this point, now they can start after 6 hours. They can start administering the measures, because the rest of them are going into the psychometrics, integrating outcome measures into clinical practice. So getting more about, you know, what does it mean? What do those results mean?
Okay.
So we can collect some data before we start even looking at these things, right? Using feedback, right? So this is just more in-depth documentation, working in special populations.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you need to get your clinician started, right? You need to get your account provisioned, and introduce everybody to the training program, and create a plan for them to be able to complete this training.
Okay.
And if they have, so what happens when a client doesn't show up right now? Is that a time when people can do their paperwork?
I would hope so. But I mean, the providers are define that for themselves. I mean, we at the board wouldn't tell them what to do.
I see. So then, so you need to make time for them to.
Okay.
You need to allot time for them to do this, to complete this training.
Right.
Okay. And so, in the manuals are included. There's 2 of the FIT manuals included in here. And this is expanding to, we're working right now on deliberate practice modules with Scott Miller and Daryl Chow to take this at the individual clinician level to the next level, which is about, using this kind of as your own personal benchmark. Okay. And where you're at, and identifying, your areas of weakness based on the data. So we're gonna help with making sense of the data. For individual providers in the future is basically what I'm saying, and how they can use that to help themselves learn to be better. Right. And okay, so the other thing is implementation in general, beyond training your providers and getting your account set up. Those other things that I was talking about before. Really getting this implemented and changing, organization policies, culture of the organization, all the rest of it. We have just revised. I used to have it was called 10 Steps to Successful Implementation, and it was based on the implementation science of Dr. Dean Fixon, who really just asked the question, hey, we send people off, teachers, psychotherapists, we send them off to do these continuing education programs, right? We keep coming up with new evidence-based practices, and how much of it actually gets applied? Right? And how long does it last for? Oh, it gets applied. Yeah. Okay. 3 months it's applied. What about a year down the road? Is it still applied? Has it morphed, or has it disappeared? And so our next kick at the can that is just in final production of the last modules right now is the On Track program, and so this program is for you guys. It's for new purchases, but you guys are going to count as a new purchase. And so what we have is we have a video that's me, and then Scott. So it's me and Scott Miller talking about implementation and what's required during the exploration phase. That's what this one is about. And then the next one, which this one would still be valuable. There's some things that you guys probably missed that you could use kind of in that initial setup. And then looking at initial implementation. And so again, we've got videos and booklets that come with that. And then also additional one-on-one meetings with myself and Dr. Carl Peruzzo to help you get through the first year. So during the first year, we want to meet with you for 2 hours, either 2 1-hours or 4 30-minute meetings. Okay. Just to help you with these things. So the first thing would be so I'm going to send you this. I'm going to send you this video and this brochure and your provisioning document. Get that sent over to you, and then the next would be to have a follow-up meeting. I'm thinking because it's a large implementation that maybe a follow-up meeting just to go over your provisioning before we actually set it up.
Okay. Yeah.
And this meeting that we're having right now doesn't count as part of this program. This is because we're kind of working backwards. You're like agency in danger that I'm having a follow-up meeting with to see what we can do to get you back on track.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so additional questions?
Not yet. I'm sure I'll
Yeah,
have lots.
yeah, exactly. Okay. Okay, so let me get this over to you, and
Okay.
we'll be in touch. Rachel will be
Okay.
in touch, and I'm also available. Um, I will send you. I'll send you an email with this, actually with this piece, so that you'll have my information and my phone number, my cell phone number, and my toll-free number. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Okay. Again, so apologies for this morning, and I look forward to working with you.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care.
Have a good day. Bye.